it almost feels today like our fate isn't in our own hands. You know, like it's not our own anymore. Like when you got, like I was saying, like a very small select group of people, very powerful, rich, powerful, influential people coming together and making decisions for the, you know, for the whole humankind, for the whole of mankind. You know, feeling egotistical enough to believe that they have the right to even be able to come up, you know, to have these meetings and make these decisions behind closed doors, and then to implement these things without telling people. And you know, just it's absolutely absurd. You know, it feels like
you've got another mother and father, really, to look up to.
Basically, people controlling your life and trying to manipulate your life and trying to, you know, control you in different ways. You know, subtly. You know,
from the day you're born, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, you know, basically when you're born, you get a ticket on you, don't you? Basically, you know, a number, and you kind of belong to someone else. That's it, you know. And the government, every child that's born, really, it's sort of you belong to the government. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think, anyway. You know, I just don't feel like I don't want to belong to anyone. I just don't. I never have done. Do you know what I mean? You know, I am a bit different to everyone else, and I think a lot of people feel like that. You know, they don't want to belong to someone else.
We're free individuals.
Yeah. I think like this has been going on for centuries. I think like we belong to someone else, and there's nothing no one can do about it.
And the thing about it too that's so crazy is that if you don't register your child after they're born within a certain time period, you'll get a fine. You know, and you get a bigger fine. They give you another select group of time to register again, and then if you don't do that, you get a bigger fine.
Then they want to register sort of like midwives to sort of keep an eye on.
Of course,
and all that kind of stuff, which I understand.
Which I understand, yes.
Which is very important for the child, you know. But it's all kind of like they're writing down details.
But sometimes it does feel a little bit invasive, like you're saying. It does feel.
Sometimes they're writing down details about you, and they don't really tell you what those details are. That's what I'm finding. That's, you know, through life. Even when you're going to school, they're giving you your records every year. You know, and they're writing things about you which you don't see. You know, and it goes to another office kind of way, and it's like they're writing about everyone wherever you go. Even if you go and see the doctor, do you know what I mean? They're writing about you, gathering all this information about you, and it's kind of like somebody knows everything about you. Even like your family record, for instance, right? They know everything, really. Like they know more than you do sometimes. Do you know what I mean? About your own family record. Do you know what I mean? Because they've got all the records of your father, and so on. Do you know what I mean? They probably got records of my granddad. Do you know what I mean? Of where he come from and where he lived and where he was born. Do you know what I mean? I'd have to go there and pay for all this information. Do you know what I mean? But somebody's got they're taking information in from all kinds of places. Do you know what I mean? Wherever you go, you know. Now they're on computers. Do you know what I mean? All this information, and they want to know everything about you. Do you know what I mean? I think, you know, it's like I say, from the minute you're born, you get midwives. You know, and it's nice in a kind of way that you got people that they want to make sure that you're looking after that baby. That's what's important to them, you know, and taking care of that baby in every way. You know, and they want to make sure that the parents are both good too, if you see what I mean. And it's quite invading. You know, like you say, you can't get away from it, can you? In a kind of way, you know, you can't be free from this monster. In a funny way, you know, like animals haven't got it in a kind of way. They're just born, and they don't give each other proper birth certificates or anything like we do. You know, but
the system has many different tentacles.
Yeah, it has. You know, but as I'm growing up, you know, and I find out that I've got a birth certificate, you know, and all this, and a national insurance number, and I feel like I'm everyone else. I kind of feel like a prisoner.
It all goes back to maritime law again as well, like we talked about previously, a little bit in previous episodes. Birth, you know, your mother gives birth.
Yeah.
The birth canal. You know what the birth canal is a reference to, water. So it's all, it's funny how it all goes back to the maritime law thing again, the whole registering of a birth, having the doctor, the one, from the doc to certify the birth. See how it's all connected to the water? Maritime law. It's very interesting, If anyone's interested in that, that will give you a deeper understanding of a lot of stuff that, a lot of the rules and laws and things that have been implemented by these people and these governments, Very interesting.
I don't think the system is beautiful.
No.
At all. And I think it makes people unkind sometimes.
Yeah.
So like I say, like last week I said that a lot of people are doing jobs just for the money. They know they don't like the job, they can't wait to get home, and do their own thing. You see what I mean? That's the general. Quite a lot of people feel like that. If you see what I mean? Most people.
The general kind of like consensus.
I mean, you get the odd person that can't wait to get up.
Yeah.
To get to work. I mean, I've had a couple of jobs that I got excited. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't wait to get into the next day. Do you know what I mean? Let's say there's so many jobs out there, and there are brilliant jobs out there, but there's also pretty horrible jobs out there. Do you know what I mean? That people really sort of like don't like doing, or I don't know. And it causes a bit of a misery in the whole system in a kind of way, doesn't it? That well, like I say, we all belong to someone, don't we? Every child at school belongs to someone, and that's that. Then when you leave school, you might want to become a teacher, you might want to become a fireman, you might become a policeman, whatever. But we all belong to someone else. You know what I mean? And I think like we're all following some sort of like an old world order in a kind of way, that we can't escape from now.
Right.
And no one can escape from it. If you sort of mean, we're all caught up in the web in a kind of way. And I don't like the system at all. I don't think it's kind. I just think it's going to get worse and worse. Not. Is it going to get better? Do you think it's going to get better? No, it's not.
No, I don't think so.
Because things are going up, you see, and I can see things going up and up and up, and I know, because I've said that I've lived nearly 6 decades now. This is probably the toughest decade I've ever seen, for the price of living going up.
Yeah, etc.
Just the way things are, now we're living in the computer world, where 30 years it wasn't a computer world, now it's a digital world, which is a big change, isn't it, for everyone to take in a kind of way today. And it's a little bit different, I think, I think everything's a little bit different, that's all. And I think like every decade it does change, and I'm just wondering what the next decade's going to be like, if you see what I mean. It's interesting. But so, I mean, when I was a little boy there was a lot more birds in the sky. And every year, thousands in this country alone die.
Yeah.
Billions around the year, world, die each year of road traffic. Okay. That's not including the animals, just the birds, right? Thousands of birds die each year.
Yeah.
They can't, even when the eggs get laid, I mean, people used to steal them, but they don't do that anymore because that's against the law, do you know what I mean? But a whole generation of birds went missing when that happened, do you know what I mean? When children used to, at my age, lots of children used to take eggs.
Yeah.
And that took a whole lot, big generation of birds away, if you ask me. But today, the skies are very poor birds flying about. There used to be thousands when I was a little boy. So what kind of world do you want? Do you know what I mean? Do you want this factory, machinery world, business type of world to evolve? Or do you want the country to come back, to how things used to be, like more polite world, I think, before. I think people, even when the motor engine, when they actually invented it, right, people started losing their respect and politeness from shoving in a funny way, I'm making a noise now, I I mean, I was doing a film with some pigeons the other day, yeah, with my channel, and there was this Porsche revving his engine up over the road, making a really loud noise, and it was doing it for some while, do you know what I mean? I said, you know, I'm going to get a Porsche to annoy everyone, you know, and scare all the birds away, do you know what I mean? You know, what people plan it on. Some people are living on a different planet to me, do you know what I mean? You know, because I'd never get a Porsche, never ever.
Yeah.
And if I did get one, I'd sell it tomorrow, do you know what I mean? You know, because they're too noisy, you know. But some people might love them, you know, but for goodness sake, you know, I know that I'm right, you know, because I know that no bird likes them in a kind of way, you know, or, you know, I just don't see, I don't like any car. I mean, I just want them all off the road, do you know what I mean? But we've all got different opinions about things, you know.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I'd love to see the world without no cars, you know. I wish the engine wasn't invented, you know what I mean? You know, and then today we would all live in a different reality.
Yeah, life would be very, very strange.
Well, we'd all have jobs.
We wouldn't have.
We'd all have jobs.
People wouldn't be able to deliver the food to the supermarkets and shit.
Yes, we would. Because we would.
I mean, but if you didn't have the trucks and shit, what are you going to do? If you know what I mean? If you didn't have
trains.
Yeah, but
trains is a great invention because I think like trains there, they don't chop up animals so much. Do you know what I mean? And things like that. Do you know what I mean? And they don't even kill ants because the ants go underneath the tracks. Do you know what I mean? So I don't mind trains so much. It's all the wheelie buses and things. You know, like I'm an insect lover. Like I keep saying, I love ants. Do you know what I mean? And I find it very disturbing that nobody else feels like me. They're just running them over like no good. You know what I mean? You know, I find it so sad. Because, you know, even little ants, honestly, they got a conscience just like me and you.
Yeah.
You know, I know they're not so complex as us. You know, they by far we're more complex, but they're still trying to live a life walking about, do you know what I mean? And smelling, just what we are, walking about, do you know what I mean? The only difference is we've invented electric, do you know what I mean? And invented quite a lot of other things like money, you know. We've evolved a little bit more, I think. Like, you know, even ants, talk about ants, again, you know, like I say, they actually bury their dead, not bury, so they take them to the graveyard, whatever, they actually care for them. Ants actually care for each other more than people do, as a colony, as an organisation. You know, they got it better, they're more intelligent than we are. You with me? They work together. You know, they've got a smooth operation going on, you know, where they take care of their young. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Like they got a hospital, when they're born they've got like an NHS little service, you know, where they put all their thingies and they look after every one of them. You know, yeah. But ants are a lot like us in a funny way. But we've obviously evolved a lot, you know, we've invented cars and God knows what. But they're still alive, you see, just like you are.
Yeah.
That's the difference, you know, that's the truth, you know, they're still a living thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, nobody cares about them anymore, they really don't give two monkeys about them, you know.
Yeah.
Or even think about them, maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of them, they're going to grow, you know, but I think they're actually struggling to survive today, to be honest with you. Not in all countries. But
a lot of stuff is going extinct.
Well, I think like ants in this country, they're rare.
Yeah.
They're not gone extinct yet, that's for sure. You know,
I think
they're rare.
I think if it gets to a point, the main one obviously is the bees. If the bees start to go extinct,
they are.
That's when we got a big problem.
And they're getting rare.
And they're getting more, like you said, I think they are becoming, you know, less.
When I was little, 50 years ago, when I was a little boy, there's 5,000, millions more type of ants than this. I saw ants nest everywhere. Big ones, right, but they're gone now. All gone.
Yeah,
I can see it.
I don't ever see an ant's nest anywhere.
But they're all disappeared, alright. There used to be loads of them, alright, when I was a little boy. There used to be a lot more bees. There used to be thousands of caterpillars, big ones everywhere, you know, beautiful ones. Lots more birds. Now there's not. Okay, they're slowly, you know, every decade that goes by, they're slowly disappearing. I don't know about the worms. I think they're all right, but you know, there's a lot of beetles. They're gone. You know, that's the fact of the matter, and I think they know this. You know, I think they don't tell people what's going on out there, but that's the truth. But even noise pollution is destroying nature in a huge way, like I told you.
Yeah.
Just the noise of all these cars going past in every city, day by day, is actually breaking down the communication of the sexual relationships between the communication in the nature world, if you see where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It's just disappearing. Nature's
Before
disappearing.
our eyes.
The trees are there, you know, whatever, but there's just not so many insects either, you know, little flies.
Sure.
You know, you can imagine sort of one car on a motorway on a hot day going along for 8 hours, yeah. Then they stop. That windscreen will be full of flies.
Yeah.
Full of them. Thousands of little insects have just died. If you have a look at some of these insects close up, they are so beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it breaks me to tears that we're living in this world where we don't care anymore about the insects. So I think we used to.
Yeah.
A long, long time ago. You know, like maybe 4,000, 5,000 years ago, ancient people used to be closely connected with insects. I think a little bit more. I don't know. You know, I'm not. You know, I don't know, but I'm right.
Yeah.
You know, I think we evolved from ants. Okay, but that's my opinion, or you know, my belief, if you sort of mean. But I really believe that it's a shame that people don't care about ants.
Yeah.
And that's what I think anyway. People might laugh at me for loving ants, but I can't help, you know, being a child and always being in love with ants since I was a very, very young child, if you see what I mean. So I can't have having this mentality, what I've got, you know.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed walking around. It's good for my legs, keeps them strong. Some people drive their cars and their legs are not getting used, you know what I mean? And then, then by the time they get old, you know, they need a wheelchair.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean, you know, some people.
Yeah, true.
So I'm not perfect, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm not killed any insects in my life, because I have, you know, sometimes I have, accidentally. You know, but I care about insects. You know, where some people, you know, a lot of people don't. You know, they put up fly traps and all sorts of things, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I look at these little flies, the little birds, that's me, you know, and some people look at them as disgusting little horrible creatures, you know, especially flies, you know.
Yeah.
I can understand them, yeah, but they're not. They're quite clean creatures, you know, and they clean themselves all the time, do you know what I mean? You know, and I just think some people put them down, and some people can see the beauty of it all, you know.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like some people are scared of spiders and would tread on them if they saw one, you know. And I think that's so sad when they could have carried on their little life, you know. You know, I find it like a murder anyway, you know. Little murder going on. And, you know, something I wouldn't do, you know. I could never kill anything, even if it's a little mummy spider, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might laugh at me, I'm kind of like real care about it, you know, in every way, and I think that's how humans should be.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, yeah, but I think they've lost that. Yeah. Machines, like I say, these cars, going back to that, they are, I can see they're very beautiful things, you know, they can make some very beautiful cars today, do you know what I mean? And they are amazing, you know.
Yeah.
They keep you warm, you know, and they go fast and they can take you where you want. And this, you know, I can see the joys of it all, you know.
Yeah.
But me, I would never, ever get one because I just have. I I care about insects.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Mm.
They're lovely creatures, you know. They're little animals basically, you know. But people don't look at them like little animals, you know. They really say people get insects and killer,
Yeah.
you know, and slug killer, and all this kind of stuff today, you know. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Mm.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
And I don't. To be honest with you, if there is God, I don't think he's going to be too happy, you know, because these are all God's creatures here.
Yeah.
And I can see this.
Creation.
Well, I can see this, you know. I look at everything in nature, you know. Every tree, even a tree is a living creature.
Yeah.
Can't see you, you know, can't hear you, they've got no ears, but it's actually a living being, you know.
It's alive.
And I'm not sure, you know, who knows whether a tree's got a conscience or not, you know.
Yeah.
Because if it's alive, surely it's got a conscience, you know, because it needs to work its body, wherever it is, you know, and operate it.
Some kind of memory,
must have something, you know. I don't know what, but I don't know. I don't see the point of the tree when it doesn't really know that it's here or whatever. You know, and even a tree itself, really, it's quite a complicated sort of like organisation, you know, and how it gets water up to the top and all this kind of stuff. You know, it's beyond me. You know? And yeah, it's life itself. You know, a tree is alive. Do you know what I mean? And it's whether, like I say, whether it's conscious or not, I don't know. But they say, if you Google it, that like trees and plants actually go to sleep when it's night time. You know, and all this kind of stuff. You know?
Well, I can believe that because yeah.
You know, like you look at the flowers. You know, as soon as the sun goes down, they're going to sleep, aren't they? They're like closing their thingies. You know, until the sun comes up in the morning, they're opening up again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, kind of raising back up again.
Waking up, you know, just like we do in a funny way. You know, and they, you know, like most birds actually, because I study birds, especially pigeons, because I love pigeons most.
Yeah.
But they kind of like sleep the same hours as us.
Okay.
If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, isn't it? You know, like there are very, very few birds or animals that work during the night time. Like for instance, the owl.
Yeah.
We know that the owl, their eyes only really work at night, not during the day. You know, their eyes are made for night. You know, where the other animals wouldn't be to work at night; they'd be blind.
Yeah.
At night, you know. And there's another. There is another bird. There is another bird, nightjar.
Okay.
Okay, that's another bird that works at night time. But all the other eagles, daytime, you know. All the other birds, daytime. Parrots, daytime.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, you know, the other one is a bat, you know, that works at night time. And foxes, they kind of work at night time, you know, and some cats, they work at night, you know, they got night eyes, you know. I don't know why we're talking about eyes here and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we should be talking about kindness.
Yeah. It's kind to be kind.
Yeah.
Caring and sharing.
But, you know, like, talking about eyes and sight, you know, can we see kindness? Do we see it?
I think we do. We do see it sometimes. Like you might see someone being kind to someone else, you know, and be able to witness it and experience it as a like, you know, as the third person essentially. You know, being, you know.
See, what I see as kind is when I see happiness.
Yeah.
When I see a mother being happy with their child, you know, and the child's being happy too, do you know what I mean? Or an old person being happy together. When they're shouting at each other and not getting on, I don't think that's so kind or beautiful, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, people just got to learn respect goes a long way, you know. Respect is mutual. It's a two-way street. You've got to give to get, and it's the same applies to pretty much everything else in life, you know. You know, the better you treat people, generally the better people will treat you. As you know, if every person that you meet, if you treat them with kindness and approach them in the right manner, generally speaking, you'll get a good response from like 99%, probably 99% of the people, if you see what I mean. Of course, there's always going to be that 1%, you know what I mean, that the exception to the rule, that you might be nice to someone and they might be an arsehole to you, you know, or be unfavourable towards you in some way, shape or form, you know. But generally speaking, you know, everyone knows this, you know, it's like, it's common sense, you know, it's just logic, you know, you treat people the way you want to be treated, you know, and um, you know, relationships tend to thrive on that kind of concept, you know. If you think about the other person before you do something, you know, before you say or you do something, you be considerate, you know, and analyse, you know, before, you know, it's, you know, that's kind, you know, it's being considerate, you know. What I'm about to do or what I'm about to say, is it going to be hurtful to this person? Is it going to be harmful to them? Is it going to leave them devastated and distraught? Yeah, it's just about being, you know, being conscientious, you know, and being able to have empathy and compassion towards other people, and being able to put yourself in their shoes in order to experience what they might be enduring and having to experience at that time, or, you know, it's not just always about self, you know. Of course we have to be about self. Self is about survival, and you have to be about yourself in order to survive, you know, in life. That's just obvious. But at the same time, it's not 100. Life is not just 100% about you. The whole world is not just to revolve around you, you know. The reason you have family and you have friends and you have other people around you is that because relationships are vital, relationships are important. Of course, you're going to have a good relationship with yourself first and foremost before anyone else. That's obvious. Like I said again, that's obvious too. But in order to maintain, you know, good friendships and good relationships and etc., you know, good business partnerships, and in order to be, you know, respected as an individual, you have to treat people with kindness, you know. Yeah. And I hope that just through watching this episode just tonight, as we're talking about kindness, hopefully some of the things that we've said tonight will inspire some people to think, you know what, like, let me try to do a bit more charity work. Let me, you know, next time I see someone crossing the road and I see them struggling, or I see someone, whatever, let me help them along the way quickly. Let me spend 2 minutes of my day helping them to cross the road because I can see they're limping a bit or struggling or elderly and, you know, struggling to walk and their mobility's a bit poor or whatever. You know, it's just about things.
I don't go around sort of like when I'm out and about trying to be a Superman.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's sort of like when I went into a fast takeaway thingy, you know, got my food, and this old man come up, you know, and he was trying to get his tray, and he was wobbling like this. He had a walking stick, and I said, "Oh, let me grab that, you know, and put it on your seat, you know." And I put it over there, and I felt like a waiter for 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? But you know, I knew that I was helping him out, because I knew that drink was going to go all over the place if I didn't help him out. Do you know what I mean? You know, and I just kind of like, I am kind of like, I do behave a bit like a Superman on my way. Do you know what I mean? I do try to sort of say nice things, you know, be positive in a kind of way, you know, and say that's, your hair looks nice, that whatever, you know, to people that I know in shops and things, you know, rather than saying the weather's bad, you know, being negative all the time, like a lot of people are, you know, they talk about the weather around in circles, you know, and it just, it does my head in a bit, you know, for some people, you know. They moan about the weather when we're lucky to have it, you know what I mean, or just lucky to be here. And a lot of people don't really talk, have intelligent conversations, do they, also sometimes, you know. So I just see a lot of people out there when I'm walking about, because like I say, I'm a little bit different, right? I've never liked cars, you know what I mean? And I just sort of see a lot of people out there that are just unhappy. And that kind of makes me unhappy.